Drop peak Michael Jordan, the greatest scorer the game has ever seen, into today's NBA, and what happens? Half of people say he'd average 40 and break the league. The other half say the modern game would expose his jumper and his size. So let's actually argue it. 10 reasons Jordan would dominate the modern NBA, and 10 reasons he wouldn't. And then I'll give you the honest verdict. Let's get into it. Quick ground rules. We're talking peak Jordan, the late 80s to 90s version, dropped into the game as it's played right now. I'm going to make the best honest case for each side, not strawman either one, then land on a verdict. The stats are verified, the conclusion is mine. Let's start with why he'd dominate. This is Game is Culture. Quick thing before we argue it, if you like basketball debates settled with real data, subscribe. It's free and it helps a ton. Now the case for domination. First, the baseline, because it's absurd. Jordan averaged 30.1 points per game for his entire career, the highest scoring average in NBA history, on nearly 50% shooting. Add 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 5 MVPs, and a defensive player of the year. This is the standard everything else gets measured against. Now, would it travel to today? 10 reasons he'd dominate. Reasons 1 through 5. 1. He's simply the best scorer ever, 30 a night against any defense. 2. His footwork and mid-range are so refined, no modern scheme fully erases them. 3. He gets to the foul line at will, and today's freedom of movement rules reward exactly that. 4. The hand check ban means defenders can't body him the way the 90s did, so he'd be even freer. And 5. His athleticism is era-proof. That first step and explosion dominate in any decade. Map his game and you see why the dominate case is so strong. Elite scoring, elite mid-range, elite athleticism, elite defense, off the charts basketball IQ. There's exactly one spoke that dips below the modern bar, the three-point shot. Everything else is already maxed out for any era. A player this complete doesn't just survive a new era, he bends it to him. Reasons 6 through 10. 6. Modern training, nutrition, and medicine would make a freak athlete even better. 7. Today's spacing means more open driving lanes for a slasher like him. 8. He was the defensive player of the year in 1988, a switchable two-way star tailor-made for modern defense. 9. He could add a 3. In fact, he already shot 43% from deep the year he committed to it. And 10. The killer mentality and the basketball IQ never go out of style. Now 10 reasons he wouldn't. Reasons 1 through 5 for the other side. 1. His career three-point percentage was just 33%, below the modern volume standards, so defenses would sag off and dare him to shoot. 2. His mid-range heavy shot diet is the exact shot today's analytics try to eliminate. 3. Modern help defense is smarter and more schemed, built specifically to wall off downhill slashers. 4. Today's wings are bigger, 6'8" and 9 two-way defenders against his 6'6". And 5. The talent pool is deeper and more athletic top to bottom than it was then. Here's the crux, map to the floor. Jordan was historically lethal at the rim and from the mid-range. The elbows were automatic. But from 3, he lived in the low 30s for most of his career. In the 90s, that was fine. In today's math, a star who isn't a real threat from deep lets the defense load up everywhere else. This one chart is the entire case against him. His greatest strength, the mid-range, is the modern game's least valued shot. Reasons 6 through 10 against. 6. Rim protection is elite now. A 7'4" eraser like Wembanyama waiting at the basket changes the math on his drives. 7. The modern game lives and dies by the 3, so his team would have to be rebuilt around his weakness. 8. He'd have to change his shot diet, which could dip his efficiency while he adjusted. 9. The pace and spacing are different enough to require a real adjustment period. And 10. In a league this deep and this global, being the single best player is harder than ever. So it all comes down to one thing. Strip away the noise and the entire debate hinges on a single question. Would Jordan develop a reliable 3? And here's the thing, we have the answer. The one season he truly committed to it, 1995 and 96, he shot 43% from deep and won a championship. The most competitive, most obsessive worker the sport has ever seen, in an era that demands a three, almost certainly builds one. Players far less skilled than Jordan have added a reliable jumper in a single offseason of modern shooting work. He posted a 43% season in 1996 without even prioritizing volume. Give him a modern shot coach and a green light, and that 33% number isn't a weakness anymore. It's a project he finishes by year 2. Bet against Michael Jordan adding a skill at your own risk. Weigh the two eras head to head. The modern game takes away the physicality he feasted on and adds smarter defense and bigger wings, real obstacles. But it also bans hand checking, opens the floor, rewards foul drawing, and hands him better training, all of which help him more than they hurt. Add it up and the rule and spacing changes tilt in his favor, while the one real threat, team defense, is the part his work ethic and IQ are built to solve. So, the verdict. Here's my honest read. Jordan would still dominate. The athleticism, the scoring, the defense, and most of the rule changes all travel beautifully. And the lone gap, the three, is one he's already proven he can close. Maybe he doesn't average 30 untouched in a deeper league, but a top 3, two-way MVP level force? Absolutely. On my scale, this sits at dominate, not merely survive. The reasoning is simple. Greatness that's built on athleticism, skill, and obsession is the kind that survives any era, and Jordan had more of all three than anyone. The modern game changes how he'd score. More threes, fewer bully drives, but not whether he'd score. You don't take the most relentless competitor ever and bet that a new rulebook stops him. You bet he adapts and wins anyway. And remember, the rule changes that define the modern game, no hand checking, freedom of movement, foul drawing, all punish exactly the kind of physical, grab and hold defense that teams used to throw at him. The era that was supposed to expose him actually hands him a freer, more open runway than he ever had. Now, the honest counterpoint, because the other side isn't crazy. If the three never becomes elite, a modern defense really can load the paint and make life hard, and the league truly is deeper and bigger than the one he ruled. It's fair to say he'd be a top 5 player, rather than the runaway, gravity-bending force he was in the 90s. Dominant, yes, but in a league far better equipped to push back. Reasonable people can land there. So that's both sides. My verdict, Jordan dominates today too, because the things that made him great don't expire, but the modern league would make him work harder for it than he ever did. Now you tell me, would Jordan average 40 today, or would the modern game finally slow him down? Drop your verdict below. And we are so close to 1,000 subs, so subscribe to stay up to date.